Iowa State starting lineup making a couple of changes lately. Solomon Young back into the starting lineup for tonight's game. He had played the last 7 off the bench, and Trey Jackson his second straight start at the guard position for the Cyclones. Mountaineers controlling the opening tip with Jordan McCabe handling. West Virginia starting lineup has been more or less the same much of the year.
Kind of a crooked toss there on the jump, but Steve Prohm already annoyed.
Shibwe, talented freshman, trying to get it inside to Culver, but winds up getting knocked out of bounds. He'll stay with the Mountaineers with only 5 to shoot.
No, Oscar Shibwe and Derek Culver sometimes on the offensive end in the half court getting each other's way, and that time they were a little too tight where one guy can guard both. Shibwe's got to shoot that little mid-range shot.
McCabe with the shot clock running down and able to hit the runner. First basket of the game.
Now Jordan McCabe, he has really struggled to score all season long. He's done the other things well for West Virginia, but good presence of mind on that attack.
And McCabe averaging just 3 points a game. Solomon Young double team momentarily. Now he'll put up the righty hook shot, but it falls short. Shibwe with a rebound. He averages 9 boards a game.
Well, both Solomon Young and George Condit have played better for Steve Prohm off the bench, and they played so well off the bench that he gave them the starting nod, and then when they became starters, did not perform well. Let's look for Young to attack tonight on the glass and around the paint.
Trying to get inside. Layup is missed by Haley, but he draws the foul with the shot clock running down. Bob Huggins picking up career win number 877 Saturday with their victory over Kansas State. Pass Adolph Rupp for 7th all-time and 4th among active coaches in victories. Now in his 13th season with the Mountaineers.
Always nice to share some pleasantries with the big guy. Earlier today, he shared some pizza with the students on campus, which is Bob's personality. Loves the campus, loves the students.
Never known a student to turn down a free meal. As the rebound goes to Iowa State. Both free throws missed by Haley. Free throw shooting has been an issue for the Mountaineers. Halliburton, and that one rattles in off the glass. Getting a friendly roll on the road.
So smooth. Just finds a way. Has the ability to find that angle, and with that great length right over the top.
Matthews off the handoff. Gives it off to McCabe. Shibwe trying to get it on the screen. Bolton knocking it out of bounds. 15 on the shot clock for West Virginia. Steve Prohm, 5th season as the head coach of the Cyclones. Had a great run at Murray State for 4 years there. And 20 or more wins in 7 of his first 8 full seasons as a collegiate head coach. Inside, Culver able to hit that one for his first basket. He averages 11 points a game. And it's 4-2 Mountaineers. Jackson unable to handle the pass along the baseline, and it goes back to the Mountaineers.
Well, you see how this is not fair, because Derek Culver is just so good on the low post with his left hand, just off the bounce with the right hand, all the way from the left side of the floor right to the rim.
And both Culver and Shibwe among the top rebounders in the conference. Both average just over 9 boards per game. As Iowa State going into some pressure here. And West Virginia able to break it. Haley gets it inside to Culver. And Culver able to hit another. He scored the last 4 for West Virginia.
Well, much better start than Saturday against K-State, where Bob Huggins played 11 players before the first TV timeout, and he was annoyed early, but better energy tonight from the Mountaineers.
West Virginia's hit each of their first 3 shots. Get the ball inside to Jacobson with the turnaround, and he's able to hit that.
Well, good job by Michael Jacobson, creating that space off the bounce on the fadeaway with the soft touch.
Matthews driving inside, and the blocking foul's called underneath. Got Solomon Young for that one.
But you can see early what West Virginia's game plan is on the offensive end. They have so much length and a big advantage over Iowa State's smallish guards, except for Halliburton, that they're just trying to post up and take you off the bounce and get to the free throw line, which they do very well.
Mentioned West Virginia, they get to the line a ton. but the shooting once they're at the line, not particularly great. Next to last in the Big 12 in free throw shooting. Matthews able to hit the first one there.
Well, they're not a particularly good shooting team on the whole in the Big 12, only 30% from the three. Bob Huggins thinks that they're a better shooting team than they've shown, and if they start shooting the ball, then they're really going to be a tough out. You look at their offensive numbers, they're not impressive at all, but they do it on the defensive end and on the glass.
Perfect trip for Matthews, and the Mountaineers open up a 4-point lead early in this contest. It's a backcourt pressure by West Virginia. Bolton able to break it.
On occasion, they'll go back to press Virginia, especially after a free throw.
Jacobson able to hit another. Second basket for Jacobson.
Well, another guy that's had an up and down year for Iowa State. Good sign early. He's being aggressive on the offensive end.
Being aggressive is Jermaine Haley with that bucket.
And he just buried Bolton, just that 6'7" size over the smallest Bolton. He had no chance. He's got to cut him off sooner.
Jacobson thought about the three. Jackson almost had that one taken away from him by McCabe, and he gets bumped along the sideline. Derek Culver called for his first foul.
Well, Jermaine Haley at 6'7" and Emmett Matthews at 6'7" are really trying to post up Trey Jackson and Rozier Bolton down low, and Iowa State's got to do a better job of denying the ball and pressuring on the perimeter.
Halliburton aggressive to the hole, but unable to finish. Here come McCabe and the Mountaineers. Shibwe operating in the post. Now to the opposite post to Culver, who kicks it into the corner. McCabe behind the back look. Shibwe gets fouled on his way up.
Well, very nice job by West Virginia, spacing the floor, recognizing the soft double down low, kicking it across, and then attacking before Iowa State could rotate and close out.
Shibwe, a 67% free throw shooter, native of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, went to high school, or finished up high school in Pennsylvania, as he's able to convert on the first.
Well, you can double Shibwe down there because he's not a very good passer, but you have to be careful with Culver because he is looking over his shoulder right away, and if he feels that double coming, he's going to find the open man.
6'9" with that 7'5" wingspan, Shibwe. And it's a 6-point lead for the Mountaineers, biggest lead in the early going. Bolton able to break the pressure for the Cyclones.
Good job breaking the pressure, keeping his head up under control.
And he throws it away. Threw it right to Haley. First turnover for the Cyclones. Open three, left wing, and that's nothing but net. Matthews, his first triple.
Good job out in transition, spacing the floor, finding the open man.
Open three, Jackson. Good rebound by Young. And then Jacobson taps that one out of bounds. Hot start for West Virginia. They've hit all 5 of their shots and out to a 9-point lead.
All right, Daniels, get out of your seat.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball, and Jeep. There's only one. Mountaineers with a 15-6 lead over Iowa State here in the first half. And you look at what West Virginia has been able to do. Their offense hasn't been their strong suit. They've done it mostly with their defense throughout the year, but a 5-for-5 start from the field, 4 of 6 from the free throw line.
Well, when you talked about Huggins, he's been lamenting all season long about all the shots they've been missing. And he thinks they're a good offensive team. They're a better offensive team than they showed. And they're running good offense. They're just missing shots. And tonight they're playing with a lot of confidence. And he thinks they can build and get better offensively. Defensively, they're as good as it gets right now. So if they start making shots, they're going to be a contender for a lot more than just the Big 12 regular season and being a pain in the neck to people moving forward in this league. It's going to be in the NCAA tournament. They are going to be a brutal out because of their defense, their depth, and if they can shoot as well.
In the top 5 nationally in both field goal percentage defense and 3-point field goal percentage defense, West Virginia. It's McCabe handling out of the timeout. Matthews, he'll try for his second three of the night, unable to hit that as West Virginia misses their first shot, but get the offensive rebound, and Sheboy puts it away.
West Virginia just shoving their way through the door. Iowa State came out of the timeout on his own, tried to mix things up, but West Virginia had 4 offensive players in the paint just pounding the glass.
9-0 run for West Virginia. Iowa State looking for some answers. Open three from the corner. Prentice Nixon into the game, but unable to convert. Jacobson with the offensive board. Bolton thought about it. Will try one from a shorter distance, but miss everything. Not going right for Iowa State. They're 3 for 8 from the field so far. West Virginia has missed just once. Jermaine Haley trying to get it inside to Sheboy, off balance and still able to hit.
Oh no, Steve Prohm just shakes his head. Falling down, Oscar Sheboy found a way.
13-point advantage for West Virginia. Bolton working his way inside and able to connect. Boy, did they need that.
Well, there's not many openings out there, but when you do find one against this defense, you better go strong to the rim. No weak stuff against the Mountaineers. That was a good, strong move.
That ends an 11-0 run for West Virginia. Matthews trying to get it inside. Instead, wheels to McCain. And stolen away by Halliburton. Halliburton, one man to beat, and draws the foul. Went right at Haley there.
Well, Oscar Sheboy continues to improve on the offensive end of the floor, and offensive rebounding is his specialty, but also just pounding his way right to the rim, and then a little on the pick and roll play, no rotation, just the ability to find a way to squeeze it home.
Halliburton, 84% from the line, misses the first. West Virginia, they'll sub liberally. They haven't subbed as liberally this game, Tim, as they did in their last game against Kansas State. Seemed like they played everybody early in that one.
Well, they came out flat against K-State, and Big Hugs was a little annoyed early. He did a hockey sub right out of the gate, and then brought in somebody else. So he had 11 players in full sweat in the first 3 minutes of the game, which you rarely see.
Miles McBride, freshman, handling up top. Gets it back from Culver. Working the ball around the perimeter. Three-pointer is short. That was from McBride, and Jacobson comes away with it.
West Virginia settling on the last few possessions. Now the quick hands.
Back the other way. McBride getting that steal, and the layup is converted by Matthews. He's got 7.
Well, Matthews is flying tonight on both ends of the floor. Smelled that steal and then found a way to get all the way to the rim with ease.
12-point lead for West Virginia. Halliburton able to connect.
Basket by Halliburton.
You see right there why there's 7 NBA scouts here tonight. And they're here to look at that man, a potential top 15 pick next year.
Only a sophomore out of Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Averages just under 16 a game. West Virginia looking for a good shot here. Matthews with the turnaround, and every shot's been a good shot for him in the early going. He's got 9.
It's a good shot, but Bolt giving up all that size, just backed away. He's got to get up and semi-contest down on the baseline.
Solomon Young misses on the layup. Culver trying to get it inside. Good hands there, knocking that one loose. That was Nixon. As the Mountaineers recover in the backcourt. Starting to see Iowa State maybe trying to get a little more aggressive on the defensive end. West Virginia off to this really good start. Matthews around the screen, 9 to shoot. And the travel called on Gabe Oshaboyan. So it'll be Iowa State's ball when we come back. 12-point lead for the Mountaineers at home. West Virginia with the 12-point lead as we take a look at Joe Lunardi's bracketology for the Big 12. Both Baylor and Kansas projected as #1 seeds. Baylor #1 overall, of course, #1 in the country in the rankings. West Virginia projected right now as a 2 seed. They could fall back with a loss tonight. And Oklahoma, a tough loss yesterday to Texas Tech. They're in the last 4 in right now.
Well, West Virginia still has 2 games remaining with Baylor, so they're still in the hunt. 3 games behind Baylor in loss column, but that'll be a battle and a half when those bigs of Baylor come in here against Sheboy and Culver.
Ball stays with Iowa State after the missed shot by George Condit into the game for the first time. Condit coming off the bench after starting the last 7. Solomon Young getting the start tonight for the Cyclones. They've gotten off to a slow start offensively, 5 of 13 from the field. Looks slow compared to West Virginia. 9 of 11 are the Mountaineers shooting. 11 minutes remaining in the first half. 7 on the shot clock. Halliburton, a double team, trying to get it inside. Zion Griffin's pass is broken up, and it goes to the Mountaineers. 4th turnover for Iowa State.
Well, George Condit's got to get going. They have to have something from their low post game. Solomon Young's played well in the past few games, but now Condit coming in back off the bench where he played much better earlier in the season.
3 attempt by Chase Harler blocked, but the Mountaineers get it anyway. Harler, he'll try it unblocked this time, and that rolls in.
That is what you call a little bit of a shooter's roll, and Chase Harler, Bob Huggins was saying, was on fire all week, and that ball is coming off his hands almost perfectly, and that's the type of rolls you get
6'3"
when you're in a groove.
6'3" senior out of Moundsville, West Virginia, 31% shooter from deep. Zion Griffin with an answer. First basket for the 6'6" sophomore from Darien, Illinois.
I like Zion Griffin. I think he can be a good player, and he's going to get some minutes tonight as a long athlete to battle West Virginia's length.
Offensive rebound off the Harler miss, and McBride almost had that taken away from him. Harler spinning inside, but then gets blocked. Really aggressive inside as Nixon back the other way draws the foul and goes into the first row. He'll get to the line once he's able to get up.
Oh, aggressive Chase Harler right to the rim, a little spin. He's not known for this type of move, going right to the rack, but listen, West Virginia is doing a great job spacing the floor and getting that extra bounce.
He's not known for the spin that he got off of the rim on that 3 either. Nixon at the line for the first time. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is the exclusive home to see #3 Kansas take on #13 West Virginia next Wednesday at 7 Eastern. Plus on February 15th, we'll have 2 great matchups as West Virginia takes on #1 Baylor and Kansas State faces TCU. Sign up today at ESPN Plus/Big 12. Nixon able to connect on both.
Got to get your subscription just to watch Vital and Gillespie against Culver and Sheboy.
That is going to be a battle. 10-point lead for West Virginia, stolen away. Here come the Cyclones. Halliburton getting it inside. Condit with the short hook shot, unable to convert. And the Mountaineers come away with it.
Condit did a good job of posting up. Halliburton found him, but he didn't take his time.
Sheboy all alone and able to convert on that layup. 8 for the freshman.
Well, that's just more effort. Sheboy outrunning Condit to the rim.
12-point lead for West Virginia. And a travel called. That's going to give it back to the Mountaineers. Terrence Lewis, the guilty party. It just seems to me nothing, can't really get any momentum. Iowa State seems like they'll make a good play or 2 here or there, but just can't string too much together to this point.
Well, what happens with playing against West Virginia's defense is they make you play faster than you want to play. I mean, they're always up. They challenge every pass, every bounce, and they're contesting, and their hands are very active.
Culver Gets it to a cutting Harler. Chase Harler with 5 off the bench.
Well, we used to say that Culver was just a willing passer, not always able, but the last couple of games, he is willing and able. Just a beautiful dime drop.
Bolton thought about the step back. Gets it back from Lewis. Works his way inside, righty leaner, and that goes. Second field goal for Bolton.
Well, that time Iowa State took their time against West Virginia. They didn't panic amongst the pressure. They spaced the court and found a lane to the rim.
Sheboy working at the foul line. Now Sherman trying a cross-court pass. Jackson got a hand on it, but now McBride tries the 3. Can't get it to go. And here comes Iowa State all the way, and it's an offensive foul charged to Terrence Lewis.
Offensive foul.
Well, I believe everybody in the state of West Virginia saw Miles McBride standing there just waiting, and I'm there, and you're not coming home. Not a good decision by Lewis.
Checks back in toward the Cyclones.
Full head of steam there, as he'll take a seat right now. Jacobson back into the game for Iowa State. The Cyclones looking for some answers. West Virginia's gotten off to a great start on both ends of the floor tonight.
Well, Steve Prohm thought that was a bad call, and maybe Miles McBride did move a touch, but just a really poor decision by Lewis to put himself in that type of circumstance.
Taz Sherman, and he's able to convert on a long 2. First basket for the 6'4" junior from Missouri City, Texas.
Everything feels better if you're West Virginia when you're knocking down those shots. They've missed a lot of shots over the last month, but they're in a good rhythm tonight.
Jacobson working his way inside, and Bolton called for the travel. Shuffling nose feet, all going West Virginia's way right now. Thank you, Kevin. A little bigger spread in this one. The 32-18 lead for number 13 West Virginia with 7:23 remaining in the first half. Iowa State as many field goals made as turnovers. That's never a good sign.
Well, they've just got to settle into the game and just match the toughness and the grit of West Virginia and not worry about that size advantage, just play grittier.
Matthews can't convert as the rebound goes out of bounds to West Virginia. Mountaineers, meanwhile, 13 of 19 from the field. They started off the game making their first 6 shots. Culver working inside, trying to spin against Jacobson, shoots an air ball, but draws the foul.
Iowa State foul on number 12, Michael Jacobson. That's his first.
West Virginia certainly knows how to get to the line. We've seen that all season, and we've seen that in this game thus far. Free throw attempts 7 and 8 coming up.
That's kind of a bailout by Jacobson, though. He had Culver off balance and shooting with his offhand kind of fading away.
Saturday at 6 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. It's college basketball's greatest rivalry. Coach K and number 7 Duke take on Cole Anthony in North Carolina at the Dean Smith Center in Chapel Hill in a Sonic blockbuster. North Carolina a bit down this year, but that's always a fun one when those two get together.
Well, I think Cole Anthony, he will continue to have better results than he did against FSU when he was 5 for 22. He's just trying to work his way back into rhythm after missing so many games with the knee issue.
Yeah, had surgery on that knee, and trying to get North Carolina back over 500. They're 10-12 on the season, trying to avoid just their second losing season since 1962. Mountaineers with the 15-point advantage here. Brandon Napper into the game. He gets the ball back from Sheboy. Trying to get it inside to Sheboy. Jacobson knocks it away and out of bounds to the Cyclones.
Well, it's hard to enter into Culver when Shibwe is at the foul line. I mean, they're so close together. They've got to space out a little bit more, even though Shibwe is not a threat as a stretch four. He's got to just learn how to space a little bit better to get Culver more room.
Up court quickly against the pressure. Condit everything but the bucket there.
Well, that's just weak. You've got to be strong. You get that opportunity in transition, you've got to make sure you finish it.
Shibwe going aggressively to the hole and draws the foul against Jacobson.
Well, Steve Prohm livid over there that Shibwe pushed off and extended the arm, and I'm not sure he's incorrect. And Jacobson's holding his own down low, and he's just moving his feet. And watch Shibwe here extend with that left arm and just pushes off on Jacobson. Looks like Jacobson had legal guarding position as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I agree with Steve Prohm on that.
Well, Jacobson's the one Iowa State player that has kind of withstood his ground on the inside and played with a lot of toughness defensively.
Side who is not a shooting foul is Culver with 8 to shoot, unable to hit, but the tip is converted. That's Jermaine Haley.
Well, Iowa State watching, Haley attacking on the glass.
One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country, West Virginia. Halliburton almost threw that away. Jackson trying to get that one to go, cannot. Mountaineers quickly back up court. Haley, he'll slow things down. Napper, he'll try a three. And Jacobson comes away with the rebound.
Well, Hugs did not like that shot from Brandon Napper. A little too quick and a little too deep for a 28% shooter.
Halliburton had that one deflected by Shibwe. And then a foul on the ensuing shot attempt by George Condit. Starting to see Iowa State, they're getting some offensive rebounds here.
But again, Condit, when he catches the ball around the basket, he's kind of fading away. He's got to extend. He's got that big, strong body. He's got to extend up to the rim and challenge West Virginia's front line to deny him with some resistance at the rim.
Unable to convert on the first one. Just a 59% free throw shooter. Steve Prohm and Iowa State trying to cut into this deficit. Able to do so there with Condit hitting that second free throw for his first point. Ends a 3-minute scoring drought for the Cyclones. 5:20 remaining in the opening half.
Iowa State back in the 3-2 zone.
Shibwe facing up against Jacobson. Offensive rebound for Rout into the game, but then his pass deflected and Halliburton able to get it. Back the other way, Bolton to Jacobson. Working up top. Jacobson from the foul line. He airballs it, and then a foul on the rebound that's going to be on the Mountaineers.
Well, it was a little bit of a force by Michael Jacobson there, but I think Steve Prohm minds that. I think Jacobson's mindset tonight has been excellent as far as on the attack, trying to make things happen, challenging West Virginia's front line to guard him in the lane.
Bolton gets it back to Halliburton. Solomon Young back into the game. Puts up the righty hook shot against Logan Rout and unable to connect on that. Brandon Napper will slow things down here. 6-foot sophomore from South Charleston, West Virginia. And a foul. Young getting tangled up with Rout away from the ball. Young will be charged with that one. Taking a look at the Big 12 to this point in the year. Baylor still hasn't lost in conference, just one loss overall. You see West Virginia, they are in pretty good position, all things considered, especially when you consider, Tim, they still have a couple of games left with the Baylor Bears.
Correct, and they got Kansas coming into town as well, and Oklahoma lost a tough one last night. Really played well at Texas Tech. They have West Virginia on the weekend at home.
Napper gets stripped on his way to the basket, and then a foul called on the Mountaineers as Bolton came up with the loose ball.
Foul whistled on Logan Rao, his second, team foul number 6.
Ohio State's doing a better job in the half court defending the baseline, the lane, and West Virginia's opportunities on the offensive glass, but they just can't seem to get their offense into any type of flow.
Yeah, that has definitely been the issue for the Cyclones to this point. Second best scoring offense in the Big 12 that's rejected. Bolton had that swatted away.
There's just nowhere to go. You might have beat your man by a half step, but you have to expect the trap.
Haley able to convert on the three. I beg your pardon, Matthews.
Well, Matthews looks really comfortable from that corner three tonight, and Iowa State continues just to let him kind of shoot uncontested shots.
Game high 12 for Emmett Matthews Jr. Halliburton aggressive to the basket, and he's got 7.
Well, that's the difference in Halliburton and then when Bolton drives. Halliburton's got his head up. He understands the feel if the big man's coming over to help and defend at the rim.
That one thrown away. Some miscommunication between McCabe and Shibwe. Halliburton trying to probe the defense. 3 from the right wing, and that misses everything from Prentice Nixon. More than 5 minutes between field goals for the Cyclones before that layup by Halliburton. It's been tough going for them much of the night. 10 to shoot. McCabe's pushed along the baseline. And it'll be West Virginia basketball when we return. Mountaineers with the 17-point lead in Morgantown. Devils in the Tar Heels.
And something tells me it will be close again, even despite UNC's record. But UNC is going to turn it around moving forward as Cole Anthony gets healthier and they find a way to get back into a rhythm.
Certainly will be a lot of energy in that building, Chapel Hill, for Duke and North Carolina. 17-point lead for the Mountaineers. Plenty of energy from the home fans here at WVU Coliseum. Coming up on the E-Trade halftime report with Kevin Connors, Sean Farnham, and Alan Cuff. 3 Reasons Rivalry Edition. And also take a look at the games on tap on Saturday. That's coming up on the E-Trade halftime report. 45 1/10 seconds away from that here at WVU Coliseum. And a foul is called before the ball can be inbounded. It's going to stay with West Virginia as Zion Griffin called. Making contact with Derek Culver there, or beg your pardon, with Osaboyan, who will head to the line here. Gabe Osaboyan looking for his first points.
He's been an important pickup for West Virginia this year, the transfer from Arkansas. He does the little things out there on the floor. An excellent passer, takes charges. He's kind of a dirty work type guy, and he's starting to score a little bit more as of late as well. And got so many newcomers, and you can just see they're starting to grow with each other offensively.
Transferred in August, became eligible in November. 8th different player to score for the Mountaineers tonight. Big reason for their double-digit lead. Bolton. Now Griffin trying to work his way inside. Almost had it knocked away. 10 to shoot. Nixon kicks it out. Open 3 for Bolton, and he's able to nail it. Second 3 for Rasir Bolton. He's got 10.
Good offense by Iowa State. They were very patient, spaced the floor, drove it into the gap, drew the defender, kicked it out to the open man.
McBride off the screen. West Virginia looking for the final shot of the half. Matthews from the corner. And that's how this first half will end. 10 points for Shibwe in the first half. West Virginia Mentioned the 59% shooting in the first half. A little different story for Iowa State, as they really struggled to get anything going consistently on offense. And you look at the points off turnovers for West Virginia as well, a big part of the story. Halliburton misses the first shot attempt of the second half. Back the other way, and the foul called as Jermaine Haley was going to the basket.
West Virginia doing an excellent job just pushing the ball ahead, and whoever gets it just goes and tries to fill that lane, and then they space the court and reverse the ball before Iowa State can match up defensively, transition-wise.
Jermaine Haley at the line. 5 points now for Haley. Mentioned Matthews with a dozen in the first half. Nearly doubling his season average. Able to knock in a couple of threes as well. Haley able to hit on both free throws. West Virginia going into some pressure off the make. Now they back out of it, although Bolton will be picked up full court by Matthews. Halliburton, 7 points in the opening half. Bolton with the runner and able to get that to go. Rasir Bolton with a team-high 12 for the Cyclones.
Nice job in a half-court running that little down screen on the weak side, and Halliburton, as always, pinpoint delivery for the bucket.
Halliburton now with the steal. Open three, Jackson, but that one short off the front rim for the freshman.
Trey Jackson still learning how to when to take shots, when not to, and that time probably a little bit too quick.
Shibwe, or beg your pardon, Culver with the left hand.
Well, they're defending Culver down there, but they're giving him way too much space. When he catches it in that mid-post area, you have to body up on him and force him back to his weak hand, and then give some help.
Bolton operating up top for the Cyclones. Down by 16. Halliburton passes it off to Young. Contested there by Shibwe, and it's out of bounds to West Virginia. It's been tough going in the paint for the Cyclones.
Well, easier said than done, but we talked about it with Condon in the first half, and there Young, again, caught the ball in a pinpoint blank area right around the rim, but kind of faded away instead of just going up strong, putting his face right to the rim and hopefully drawing a foul.
Steve Prohm trying to plead his case to Keith Kimball. Frustrating night for the Cyclones. Shibwe, and he's able to get that to go. Sometimes it just seems like he just flings it up and finds a way to get into the basket.
That's what happens when you're a really special player. You find that way.
Just a third McDonald's All-American ever to play for West Virginia. Oscar Shibwe. Jacobson can't hit on the three. McCabe trying to probe the defense. Gets it back from Shibwe. High post now for Culver. McCabe from deep with 6 to shoot, unable to convert, but another offensive rebound for the Mountaineers. Gets it inside to Culver. Looked like that got deflected, and indeed it did, out of bounds to the Mountaineers.
Well, right now, West Virginia is outworking Iowa State, and this is problematic. Could be troubling times right now in the next few minutes if Iowa State doesn't get a hop back in their step.
8 offensive rebounds for West Virginia. Culver unable to hit as Jacobson clears for the Cyclones. Bolton, he'll try from deep, and he'll bury it from deep. 15 for Bolton.
Gets a little energy back on the bench for Iowa State. Now they've got to do it down at this end.
Bolton. Right now, McCabe back the other way, and he is able to draw the foul.
Iowa State foul call to number 3.
And he'll head to the line for a couple.
His second personal.
Mentioned Bolton, what he's been able to do. 15 points for him.
Jordan McCabe.
Just 17 points for the rest of the Cyclones.
Well, a bailout there. It looked like McCabe initiated the contact on that drive to the rim.
First point for McCabe since scoring West Virginia's first basket of the night. And a lane violation's called on West Virginia. So that last free throw does not count. Iowa State once again facing some pressure from the Mountaineers.
West Virginia will use their depth in the full court after a made free throw, and they're making their money this year on defense in the half court.
Bolton flying to the basket, unable to get the roll, but 2 free throws upcoming.
Bolton's done a great job tonight, just being aggressive in the half court, taking what the defense gives him. You can see his ability to score both off the bounce and off the catch.
You talk about that West Virginia defense and what they've been able to do, among the best in the country. Only Arkansas defends the 3 better than West Virginia, and only Virginia and Memphis better field goal percentage defense in the country.
Well, when you start to break teams down at this point in the year, Robert, what I like to look at is their league stats, because a lot of this stuff gets padded early in the season by easy non-conference wins at home. But West Virginia's stats have stayed through and through in conference as well, especially the almost +9 on the glass in Big 12 games.
Bolton has scored exactly half of the 34 points the Cyclones have put up so far. His 17 points lead all scorers. But West Virginia with the 14-point advantage. 7 on the shot clock for the Mountaineers. Culver going to the basket. Young blocks him, but also gets called for the foul.
Well, we saw that in the first half, and you've seen it all season long with Derek Culver. He's much more aggressive in the last few games offensively, looking for his own points, and that time did a great job. He really does a nice job of moving without the ball. He knows how to post, repost, and if he's denied, he doesn't stop playing. And when he catches the ball right down by the Big 12 logo and squares up, he can go hard with either hand.
Applications for West Virginia. You talk about Culver and Sheboy, 2 very good post players, and we've seen several times when they've been in the game at the same time when both of them are looking for the ball in the post, and that can create some challenges.
Well, it has, and you've seen it over the course of the season. At times, their offense gets stuck in the mud sometimes because those 2 guys are running into each other. But over time, I think it's improved tremendously well. Sheboy's becoming a better passer, and Culver will step out and look to pass the ball down in the low post, so they can still run the old school high-low game effectively.
Once again, some full court pressure for the Mountaineers. Condit back to the basket in the high post. Jackson, he'll try a long 2, and he's able to bury it. First basket for the 6'1" freshman from Columbia, South Carolina.
Well, that's what Steve Prohm wanted him to do a little bit more in their game over the weekend against Texas. And then we go with Jackson as the starting point guard. He looks like he's a keeper. He can make that shot consistently.
Second straight start for Jackson, and McCabe with the answer. First 3 for Jordan McCabe. He's got a half dozen.
Well, Huggs has been looking for that. Only 21% on the season from the three-point line. He really played well at the end of last year, but has been in a season-long slump. But looking for his shot tonight as well.
Bolton, he gets rejected by Matthews. Here comes West Virginia. Matthews full head of steam. Everything but the bucket. But the offensive rebound and putback. Jermaine Haley with 8.
And West Virginia now is just starting to shove themselves right through the door of Iowa State's house.
18-point lead for the Mountaineers. Halliburton work the ball around the perimeter. Bolton comes up short on that one. And it'll go to the Mountaineers when we return.
There's a timeout.
West Virginia, strong start to the second half, up by 18.
Turn your attention to the video board. When teammates
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Orbit Gum. Keep it clean. 18-point advantage for number 13, West Virginia over Iowa State, and a big reason for West Virginia's success this year. 17-4 overall is what they've been able to do on the glass. How about 10 offensive rebounds And the rebounding margin, that's been a strength for the Mountaineers all season long.
Well, the interesting part of that is the first half wasn't exactly a crushing loss for Iowa State on the glass, but it's already +8 in a little over 5 minutes in this half.
Mountaineers break some Iowa State pressure. And McCabe will set things up. Mountaineers looking for their 18th win of the season, trying to improve to 6-3 in the Big 12. Lefty hook, and that's good for Culver. He's in double figures for the 12th time this year.
Well, that is excellent half-court offense. Just patience, timing, and the ability to deliver the ball on point to your postman coming across the lane.
20-point lead, the largest of the night for the Mountaineers. Halliburton and the flush. Good feed from Halliburton to George Condit, who converts on his first field goal.
Always plays with his head up. Only need a little bit of a crack in the door to deliver and finish.
Haley has that one deflected by Bolton, gets it back and draws the contact.
Running the pick and roll for Iowa State is a must, and Tyrese Halliburton is one of the best, and always with his head up and the ability to push it right over the top.
Jermaine Haley at the free throw line, shooting 2.
It's now 3 fouls on Rasheer Bolton, called for that one on Haley. Three of 4 from the field tonight, 2 of 4 from the line. Make it 2 of 5. Just a 64% free throw shooter. West Virginia, that's been an issue for them. Next to last in the Big 12 at 65% from the line on the season.
Both Haley and Matthews have done a very good job of using their length at the guard spot to try to create for themselves in the lane and getting to the line.
Not the only athlete in his family. His grandfather set a United States record in the high jump in California back in the 60s. And Morgantown faithful not too thrilled with that Mountaineer foul.
We'll be here a long time, partner, if they start calling those. That was a feather.
First on Osaboyan tonight. 19-point lead for the Mountaineers. Halliburton between the leg dribble, trying to find an opening, and an offensive foul is called after the pass by Halliburton.
Oh, please.
Not thrilled?
That's a great sell, and that's what Osaboyan does. He does a great job of reading the defense and helps, but Halliburton came to a jump stop and there was hardly any contact and doesn't continue on. He sells it though.
Yeah,
that's the important piece.
I'm with you on that. 18th charge drawn by Osaboyan this year. That leads the Mountaineers. Three-pointer from Matthews, not able to get that one to go. He's connected on a couple tonight. Griffin, he'll try, but that's short from deep and out of bounds to West Virginia. This has not been Iowa State's night tonight. As West Virginia makes some more substitutions, Chase Harler comes into the game, and that has to make things even tougher for Iowa State, Tim, as they try to come back with what West Virginia does defensively. They're so relentless, and then they're able to change out so many different guys, just wear you down.
They wear you down, but also just the length is a big, big problem again.
A dozen for Culver, and he has a free throw coming his way.
You watch big guys around the country, and many do it better than this guy as far as moving without the basketball sliding into the open gap. He doesn't stand still. He finds that good area where he can catch it and finish right at the rim.
Unable to convert on the free throw. 59-38 Mountaineers. Inside to Condit. And a whistle on the Mountaineers. I believe they're going to get Culver for that one. Well, West Virginia, just so many different people they can run at you. and can do a few different things. You see 3 different players in double figures. Haley 1 point away from joining Culver, Matthews, and Sheboy. No one averages 25 minutes a game for the Mountaineers. Bob Huggins really spreads out the playing time.
Well, if you're going to play as hard as they do, and you have that depth, you can use it, and that's why they wear these teams out in the second half.
Tough shot for Prentice Nixon for his first field goal. He's got 4 points. Miles McBride, the freshman point guard out of Cincinnati, back in there.
Steve Prohm changing his defense again to the 3-2 matchup.
Well, didn't matter that time, as it turned out, as Chase Harler hits his second 3 of the night.
Well, Terrence Lewis is a fan favorite at Hilton Coliseum, but the reason he doesn't get more minutes is because of that. He just stands still on defense, not a good defender.
Condit has that one taken away from him. McBride trying to lob it, but unable to finish that one as Haley couldn't come up with it. Back the other way, Lewis aggressive to the basket, draws the foul. Lewis with a couple of free throws upcoming. West Virginia up by 22 at home. Both done some good work for the Blue Devils this season. Big reason why they're 7th in the country.
Good matchup up front between Carey and Garrison Brooks. He's going to have to bring his A game. Carey was a load on Saturday night up in the carrier down the stretch, just powerful in the lane.
As Lewis hits 1 of 2, full court pressure for Iowa State, and the foul is going to be called on Nixon. Steve Prohm trying to do what he can to try and get his team back into this basketball game with 11:27 remaining. 17th foul on Iowa State, so West Virginia will be shooting free throws rest of the half.
Well, it was a good idea by Iowa State coming out of that timeout. Slapped a quick press on West Virginia, and West Virginia on the season at times has really struggled handling the ball. Maybe Iowa State can get back in this game with a little full court pressure.
Bolton gets it back from Lewis. I do have another question for you about that Duke-Carolina matchup. We'll get to it here in just a moment. 10 to shoot for the Cyclones. Condit trying to work his way inside and has that one knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay with Iowa State. So, Tim, North Carolina, obviously, they're not used to having the sort of season that they're having this year, 10-12. Obviously, Cole Anthony missing 11 games with the knee injury does not help. But what are some other factors you've seen that have led to this season for the Tar Heels so far?
They don't have the offensive firepower. They don't have the balance. They don't have the size up front. The wing players, the great creators that they've always had over the years. Those small forwards that can go get a basket at the end of the clock. And I think earlier in the year, Cole Anthony, they look good, but they've got to get back into that rhythm. I think they can still. I think they can be a problem for people, but time's running out, that's for sure.
Roy Williams in danger of missing the NCAA tournament for only the 3rd time in his 32 years as a head coach at Kansas and North Carolina. 8 to shoot for the Mountaineers. Chase Harler unable to connect, and Bolton chases down the long rebound, then immediately double teamed in the corner. Halliburton, the touch pass there. Looked like that might have been a push off on Condit. And the foul is called on George Condit. First on him.
Well, I was about to say that's the first time I've seen Condit go strong to the rim, but a little bit too strong. Not sure he extended, but nothing going right for Iowa State. And then the master taker of the charge, Osaboyan.
Second one he's taken in this game. 19th he's taken this year to lead the Mountaineers. Osaboyan handling now. Three-pointer from the left wing, misses everything from Napper, but there's the putback. Jermaine Haley, he's got 11.
Well, when Osaboyan's in your neighborhood, you've got to understand that he's going to take one. And you got to try to go around him. You can't try to go through him because he'll just flop down.
Three-pointer is short for Nixon, then knocks the ball away from Harler, gets it back and lays it in. How about Prentice Nixon there?
Well, that's what he's known for, is on-ball defense, and his offensive numbers have been disappointing on the season, but maybe he'll start to play a little bit better in this backup role.
Yeah, senior transfer from Colorado State. Haley misses the three. Nixon, he averaged better than 16 points a game in his last year with the Rams, but averaging just above 8 a game coming into this one. Is Sheboy now with 14 over his season average of 11.
Well, West Virginia doing a nice job of sharing the ball, making that extra pass.
And Condit again being aggressive inside and able to draw the contact. Third on Osaboyan.
Follows whistled on Gabe Osaboyan, his third.
Condit going to the line for a couple here.
At the line for Iowa State.
Just a 59% free throw shooter. Tonight at 12:30 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app after Heat Clippers. Stick around for SportsCenter. Tim Legler joins Scott Van Pelt to break down the Bucks versus the rest of the NBA. Plus, Woj has the latest NBA trade news ahead of Thursday's 3 Eastern deadline, and the impact of the Mookie Betts trade is the one big thing. And I'm sure no one's talking about that up where you live, Tim.
Listen, I feel bad for the Red Sox. They're trying to save dollars and increase ticket prices at the same time.
It's an interesting strategy. We'll see if it pays off. 22-point lead for the Mountaineers with under 9 to play. 13th ranked West Virginia. Osaboyan working his way inside with 7 to shoot, unable to finish. Fight for the rebound. Jacobson back into the game, able to come away with it for the Cyclones.
Good move to the rim, and Osaboyan more confident on the offensive end as of late.
Foul away from the ball on the Mountaineers.
Foul is called on Oscar Sheboy. Picks up his second.
Sheboy is called for his second.
My man Woj working a little OT here at the trade deadline.
Back into the Cyclones.
It's kind of hard to catch him this time of year, not glued to his phone, isn't it? It's Bolton trying to create and draws the blocking foul, much to the chagrin of the West Virginia faithful.
I knew Woj when he was just Adrian, covering college basketball for the Bergen Record.
Do you know his full last name?
I just called him Adrian. We always had a nice relationship when he covered college basketball. It was important to have him on your good side, even then.
Gabe Osaboyan called for his 4th foul as he was unable to draw that charge. Bolton leading all scorers. That's his 18th right there.
Still trying to figure out as a basketball coach or ex-coach or whatever you want to call me, an analyst, how you can go into a game like the Rockets did last night and take 60 3-point shots.
That's how they like to play now.
The game's changing, but not for this team on across from us over here, West Virginia. They're playing old school basketball. 2 power players, pound it inside, get up on the glass.
1 year at Penn State for Bolton. Transferring before this season, able to play right away, getting a waiver from the NCAA. And he's really given the Cyclones a lift tonight and much of the season. 6th in the Big 12 in scoring. But West Virginia with the 21-point lead. Four to shoot. Young, the fadeaway. Jacobson, an offensive rebound. Halliburton unable to hit. 2 teammates fighting for that one. Young unable to convert. You can see Young getting a little frustrated there.
He's working hard down low. He and Jacobson just can't get anything to go.
Miles McBride, freshman point guard out of Cincinnati. Looking to get rid of the basketball now. We'll put it on the floor. 3-pointer from the top of the key, but that comes up short for Taz Sherman. Another offensive rebound for Sheboy, and Oscar Sheboy, he knows what to do with that.
That is a weight room rebound. A little over the top, a little push. And then a power finish.
16 for Shibwe. Eight rebounds as well for Oscar Shibwe, who's been known to get a double-double or two. Thank you, Kevin. Straight Jackson hits a jumper to try and get Iowa State a little closer. West Virginia's led by as much as 23 tonight. Number 13 team in the country. Some pressure put on by the Cyclones, but easily broken by West Virginia. McBride, 8 to shoot. Trying to get the ball inside. Shibwe, 4 on the shot clock. Offensive rebound, and putback is good, and a free throw coming up for Chase Harler.
Well, we've seen it time and time again, especially in the second half. West Virginia just more aggressive in the right spot at the right time, moving while the ball's in the air, not watching the ball, attacking the rim, and this time it's Harler, the least likely of suspects.
5th player in double figures for the Mountaineers tonight.
Well, you can't get rebounds standing on the three-point line in West Virginia. When the ball goes up, they're attacking the rim and finding that angle.
11 points matches Harler's season high. Jacobson brings it up the court for Iowa State. West Virginia continues to dominate on the glass like they have all season. It's Halliburton unable to convert on the try, goes into the first row. McBride wide open. Culver, yet another offensive rebound for the Mountaineers, but then he traveled. Seems like it's rare when something doesn't go right for West Virginia tonight.
I haven't watched these two guys over the last 2 games live, up close.
Also checking in.
There is no way that you can block them out with one body. In order to play against West Virginia, you must have a team effort rebounding in the lane, because one-on-one, they're just too big, too active, too aggressive, and too smart on the glass.
McBride will pick up Halliburton full court. Iowa State in danger of losing their 10th consecutive road game. A nice backdoor cut by Condit, who's able to finish strong.
Good job in a half court by Iowa State. A little roll and replace and roll to the rim. And West Virginia, for the first time, didn't do a good job rotating on the backside.
Cash Sherman, 6'4" junior, handling for the Mountaineers. Harler, he'll try a 3. Shibwe, yet another offensive rebound for the Mountaineers, and he got hacked after grabbing it. That's 3 fouls on Jackson. The NBA Friday doubleheader on ESPN and the ESPN app starts at 8 Eastern as the Raptors put their 11-game win streak on the line against the Pacers, followed by Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers facing All-Stars Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and the Jazz. Coverage tips at 7 Eastern with NBA Countdown. Damian Lillard, he's been on quite the tear for the Trailblazers. Last 7 games. How about that? 45 points a game, 10 assists, so he's sharing the ball. Oh, he's shooting 54% from 3.
Just a closer as well, and just trying to find a way to get Portland back in the mix in the West.
Iowa State, Steve Prohm. It's been a struggle for them this year. 2-6 in the Big 12 coming into this game. Mentioned their struggles on the road. As that one's deflected out of bounds, they're going to say it's last touched by West Virginia.
It was a good look by Oscar Tshiebwe, though, trying to go a little high-low into Culver, but Iowa State defended it well.
Jackson aggressive to the basket, unable to finish. Tshiebwe, a brick wall down there. Deflected out of bounds off Condit. Culver was trying to corral that pass.
You run into Oscar Tshiebwe full speed ahead. It's hard to knock him off his spot.
Yeah, he had position. It's going to be tough for Jackson there. Mountaineers team that really prides itself with what they can do on the defensive end, and got off to a hot start offensively, and that's continued. Miles McBride, his first basket. Back the other way goes Iowa State.
Well, Miles McBride gives West Virginia something they really don't have at that guard spot, just a dribble penetrator who can shoot that mid-range game and beat you off the bounce all the way to the rim.
Tshiebwe had that pass deflected. It will stay with the Mountaineers when we return. 22-point lead for West Virginia. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Kevin Connors here in studio. We thank you for watching ESPN's coverage of college basketball. Due to time constraints, we move forward in our game.
And cheers from the student section as walk-on Spencer Mackey checks into the game. 5'11" freshman from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. They've been chanting his name the last few minutes, wanting him to come into this ball game, which is all but decided at this point. And Spencer Mackey, he was a gunner in high school, averaged 35 points a game as he misses on that 3 attempt. He's taken 12 shots this year, 9 of them have been from 3. That's Spencer Mackey. As Lewis unable to hit from deep.
Spencer Mackey not shy. Right in front of the big fella over there, pulling the trigger right on the first pass from the deep corner. And I don't mean Derek Culver either. I mean Bob Huggins.
McBride dribbling out the clock. As West Virginia about to pick up their 7th win in their last 9 ball games. The Mountaineers put this one away pretty early. Things were going their way from the get-go. Made their first 6 shots of this ball game. As the Mountaineers improved to 18-4 overall, 6-3 in the conference. Iowa State, meanwhile, they fall to 2-7 in the league, 9-13 overall in this ball game.